Someone asked me at a talk last month, hand shot straight up before I'd even finished my opening remarks. What do you do when your husband retires and turns into someone you don't recognize? Not a bad person, just gone into a hobby, and you're suddenly a stranger in your own kitchen? I didn't have a tidy answer that night. I have a better one now, because a woman named Carol wrote to me afterward with the rest of the story. This is Carol, in her own words. Frank retired on a Friday in September, and by the following Monday he'd joined a golf league that plays 4 mornings a week, rain or shine, plus a Sunday round with what he now calls the guys, as if he hasn't known most of them for 6 months. I want to be clear, I don't think golf is the villain here. I think I am the villain of my own complaint, a little, and it took me a while to admit that. For 31 years, Frank's job structured both our days, whether either of us chose that or not. When he retired, I pictured us discovering some shared new rhythm. Puzzles, maybe, or the garden, or finally the trip to Portugal we'd talked about since our 30s. Instead, I got a man who left at 6:40 every golf morning and came home smelling like sunscreen and talking about someone named Denny's short game. I spent the first 2 months being quietly furious about it, in a way I never once said out loud, which in hindsight was its own kind of dishonest. I'd sigh loudly near the golf bag. I'd ask another round, in a tone that wasn't really a question. Frank, to his credit, eventually just asked me directly what was actually wrong, and when I finally said it, I feel like I retired too and nobody planned anything for me. Something clicked for both of us. There's a concept from sociology called role exit theory about how people who lose a defining role, like a career, often overinvest in a replacement role to avoid the disorienting feeling of having no role at all. Frank needed the golf league the way his old job used to organize his mornings. What I actually needed wasn't for him to golf less. I needed mornings of my own that didn't depend on his schedule to exist. I signed up for a watercolor class at the community center in October, mostly out of spite, if I'm honest, and mostly stuck with it out of something closer to relief. It turns out I like Tuesday and Thursday mornings that are entirely structurally mine. Frank still golfs 4 days a week. I still think Denny sounds insufferable. But I stopped waiting for him to notice I was unhappy and started building the thing that would make me not unhappy, which was, it turns out, always available to me and never actually his job to provide. We take the Portugal trip next spring. I made him put it on the calendar himself, in his own handwriting, so it would feel like his idea too. It mostly does. If you're standing in your own kitchen feeling like a stranger to a retirement you didn't plan for, the golf league, or the fishing, or the wood shop, whatever yours is, probably isn't going anywhere. The mornings that are only yours might be the better use of your energy.